Congressman Ken Buck. He's a Republican from the state of Colorado. Congressman, good evening to you. You have come, of course, from this vote on the House floor, and you voted against this deal. Why?
There's 4 trillion reasons to vote against this deal. The debt in the United States will rise by $4 trillion from 31 trillion to 35 trillion. Absolutely unacceptable. We cannot continue to sustain ourselves if we continue to add that much debt to our ledger.
I want to tell you what some of your Republican colleagues have said about this deal today. So Speaker McCarthy, who negotiated this agreement, said that this bill is a small step on putting the country on the right track. And we know that this bill will now head to the Senate. And Republican Senator John Thune said that this bill provides the first reduction in non-defense discretionary spending in a decade, a $1.5 trillion reduction. Do you agree?
No, that's nonsense. When you add $4 trillion, you don't do that by reducing spending by $1.5 trillion. They know this doesn't reduce spending at all, frankly. And they know that this bill is not going to be accepted by the American people. There's already a huge amount of pushback on this, and this is just a failure. Speaker McCarthy said to the public that this was a victory. He said to the public that there was nothing in this bill for Democrats. More Democrats voted for this bill than Republicans, and they voted for this bill because they realized that under this bill, President Joe Biden will be able to spend more money on the programs that he is so interested in promoting.
Are you concerned about what would have happened if there was no deal that passed through the House? Indeed, the Treasury Secretary has warned that there's going to be a catastrophic economic collapse if there is no agreement in place to raise the debt ceiling.
First of all, the Treasury Secretary is the same secretary that said there would be no sustained inflation in this country. She was wrong on that. And she's wrong on this. The legislative reality is that we would have passed a short-term extension for the debt ceiling so that we would give ourselves more time to negotiate. Default was never an issue in this case. It's one of those things that people use to try to scare the public and to try to move people in the wrong direction. And they succeeded in this case because this bill goes in the wrong direction.
So what is the mistake that you think the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, made?
He made the fundamental mistake of misreading the American people and thinking that having $4 or $5 trillion more national debt was acceptable. That is not acceptable. We need to have spending caps. We need to make sure that the Biden administration was limited in how much more money it could spend.
You have said that after this vote, there will need to be a discussion on whether to vacate Kevin McCarthy as Speaker of the House. Will you be having that conversation with your colleagues now?
We will be having that conversation next week. It already started on the floor as we saw the Democrats jump on the opportunity to support this bill. This speaker negotiated a bill that was more popular with the Democrats than it was with the Republicans. And frankly, there are 72 Republicans now who voted against this bill who are ready to have that discussion about whether Kevin McCarthy should continue to be the speaker.
Do you think you'll have enough votes for this motion?
I don't know. It only takes 5 or 6 votes unless the Democrats support Kevin McCarthy for Speaker, and that creates a whole new dynamic that really undermines his ability to get programs through with the Republican majority.
Do you still trust the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, to lead congressional Republicans?
I don't trust Kevin McCarthy as a fiscal conservative. I don't believe that Kevin McCarthy understands the significance of spending and the threat to the United States. Look, China is going around the world right now. We've been getting reports talking to the governments of foreign countries in Africa, Asia, Latin America about how the United States has out of control spending and out of control debt, and China is a better economic partner than the United States. That's a very serious consequence of this kind of irresponsible bill.
Congressman, what do you expect to see next from your colleagues in the Senate?
Well, I think the Senate will have a very similar dynamic. I think there'll be a large percentage of Democrats who will support this bill. I think there will be some Republicans who will join them, and they will declare victory and talk about what a great effort this was. The reality is the American people are going to be losers.
Congressman Ken Buck, Republican from the state of Colorado, thank you so much for joining us here on BBC News this evening.
Thank you.